In this video, I'm going to talk to you about incident requests and CMDB integration with CloudForms and ServiceNow. The idea of this video really is to give you a high-level overview of what it looks like when you've integrated CloudForms and ServiceNow and how to do certain things. So what I'm going to cover in this is really incident requests and CMDB records. In the case of incident requests, I'm going to show you how to create one, resolve a request, as well as close one out. And then for CMDB records, we're going to create, refresh, and delete a record. We're going to do this all within the VMware configuration panel, so on the VM level. And we're going to do that using custom buttons. So like I said, this will be high level. I'm not going to really dive into kind of the nuts and bolts of how this is put together. As far as the underlying code to do that, that's a much bigger and broader, deeper subject. So this is really, again, to just give you that high level view. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so this is a test VM that I have here, and what I'd like to do is actually go and create a request against this VM. So what I have up here in the upper right-hand corner are some custom buttons that have been created, and the one we're going to look at today is the ServiceNow dropdown. And as you can see in here, we've created some things you can do inside of ServiceNow. So in this case, we can create an incident, we can resolve an incident, we can close one out, and like I said, we can also create a CMDB record, update CMDB record, as well as delete one. So let's go ahead and create an incident against this. Let's assume, say, we've got a problem with this VM. If for some reason it won't boot, so we're going to put in a quick note. So all we have to do is hit submit, and this is going to send a request over to ServiceNow. We can see the order request was submitted, and we can actually go into ServiceNow, and this is the one I've got here tied to my CloudForms. We'll look at my incidents, we'll look at all, and we'll see that my ticket has been created there. And we can actually go in there, and we can see just what's sent over. So as we can see here, we have a lot of information. We've got obviously the time it opened, what state it's in, the incident number, and as well as a short description, right? We've got the VM name that was passed to it, as well as kind of my description that I put in there. And going down to the activity, there's some really cool things that we scripted into this this integration, information that is passed over to CloudForms. So these are all variables inside of CloudForms that we're sending over to ServiceNow that helps immediately, all I did was literally type a description, hit a button, but my ticket has so much more information that people can act on. And so that's what's really cool about this. And this can be scripted in any way as far as what you want to send over, and what information you want to gather. That's all customized so that it works for your company's processes and flow. So that's essentially what it takes to create a ticket from within CloudForms. And if we want, we'll go back over to my computer, my VM. We'll see down here at the bottom that CloudForms actually attached some custom attributes to this VM. And this basically shows the incident state that it's in, the ServiceNow incident system ID, so as well as the incident number, right? And so what's great about this is it helps us to cross-link information that's going on. So I can look in here inside of a VM as an operations person, look at that custom attribute and say, oh, look, there's something going on here. And if I wanted to, I could actually even make like a widget or a dashboard that could actually keep track of open requests based on the custom attributes that are pulled from the VMs. So again, a lot of power we can do just within that integration. So if we wanted to actually go and update this, or if we want to resolve it, I'm sorry, we've created the incident, we're going to resolve the incident now. Let's go in here and let's say we actually figured it out. Now we have no idea if that's the actual solution, but you know what, that works for our resolution here. We'll hit submit. We'll see that, again, the order was submitted or the update was submitted, and ServiceNow should quickly see an update right here in the activity. So again, we've marked it as resolved, and as well as we've put in a new activity into the stream here. Now let's finally go back into our computer again, our VM, and go ahead and close this ticket out. So we actually see that we've got an incident state here. It has been updated, and our other information is there. So we'll go ahead and close this guy out and see what that looks like. Submit. And back over here to ServiceNow. And we see it updates that solved it. We see our notes. We see that it's closed now. So really, really cool integration there, right? I mean, you could, users, it all depends on how you want to use this. You could do all of your operators could be doing what I'm doing here and working in CloudForms, because since that's the typical mode that they're used to working in, right? That they don't necessarily want to have to go into ServiceNow to be updating those tickets. So this provides them a quick way of being able to use ServiceNow as the source of record, but using we use that integration point so that they're using things that are familiar inside of CloudForms. It just helps them to be more efficient with their time rather than bouncing back and forth between different user interfaces and things like that. So that's incident response. And again, this is a very high level, very kind of quick demo. You could do a lot more than that. I mean, I'm just putting in simple information into those text boxes. We could have a lot more information that we want to gather from the user or the operator. But in this case, this shows you a good example of what can be passed over by inputting stuff, as well as what can just be sent over, as we see down here, as variables that are just known to the system. So that's incident response. So let's now take a look at CMDB management. In this case, we're going to go ahead and create a CMDB record for this VM inside of ServiceNow. And right now, I can show you this VM does not exist. Go see and make sure it doesn't show up. Okay, so it's not there. Let's go ahead and just click this quick little button. We're going to create CMDB record. And we can see it was executed. And if I go over here again, JB demo, if I can spell it. And there it is. We've created a CMDB record inside of ServiceNow. And inside here, we can look at the information that was passed over. And again, this is a basic example. So what we sent over was the OS version. We put a little description down here in the bottom, as well as we've got the RAM, CPU count, and things like that. Now, we could send a lot more. There's obviously more information we could be passing this. But just for this example, we can see that, just that integration allows us to create that record. And then if we come back over to CloudForms, we can even update that record. We just click this button and the record is updated with more information if we are changing things inside of CloudForms, or as time goes on, we make configuration changes. We can send that update. We can also come over here and delete the record. So let's just do that, just so you can see the full life cycle of CMDB records. We'll go ahead and delete it. So if we come back over here, refresh our page, we should see that the record's now been deleted, and now we have basically full lifecycle control over our CMDB. And so there's just really cool things we can do with that, right? I mean, we've now got the ability to be sending information, keeping things updated inside of CloudForms, but using ServiceNow as that source of record. So hopefully this gives you a good understanding of what we're trying to do here, what it looks like to do things inside of CloudForms, and just know that there's so much more that can be done. Again, it's just all a matter of building that out and customizing it to your company's workflow and your processes. So anyway, hopefully this has been a helpful video for you. Check out the CloudForms blog to find other helpful videos and articles that talk about how our customers are using CloudForms to automate their enterprise.